So I didn't have any memories of my childhood, not from birth until I was 16 years old.
Oh my God.
Which is, I was not versed in mental health. I talked to my family a couple of times about it. We didn't know why. We came up with some ideas, but not scientific. And one of the reasons why I wrote my book is because I really want to make people aware that when you don't remember your childhood, when you have large memory gaps, it means that your brain hits something for protection, and it usually hides as a bulk because of, you know, the way the science of the brain works. So it will hide years, it will hide good memories and bad memories. So when I'm talking to you about, you know, these experiences of my brother's illness and all of that, I know what I know from pictures, watching pictures, and also from, you know, talking to my family, obviously. So my brother gets sick when I'm 3 years old. My mom leaves to help him, comes to the U.S. I see my mom maybe for a week every 3 to 6 months. So there is an abandonment wound that I didn't know I have that came from that. And my brother died ultimately when I was almost 6 years old. I was 10 days short of my birthday. And as many families, we disappeared him from our lives. I don't know if you've noticed, sometimes family lose family members and they pretty much try to erase the memory. They don't talk about them. They hide the pictures.
Because it hurts too bad.
Yes. They give away the clothing. So they just disappear the person. And it was so effective, this disappearing act, that I actually never even thought about my brother until I was 33 years old. And on one evening, I was sitting by a palm tree, and I felt like the fronds of the palm tree in my face, and I removed them. And I remember that, and this was a memory, that he used to put like my hair in front of my face, and I will remove it. And he will do it over and over again. And in that moment, I remember him, and it was with such an open heart that I realized, you know, I didn't think that he had influenced me, but he did. So I've always had a fire inside of me. I've lived with a zest for life. And I've realized that it's in great measure because I experienced the loss of a young life so early during mine. So, you know, that was one of the things that happened in my childhood.
Thank you for sharing that.
We are more comfortable in a familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven. I don't know if you've heard of that saying, but it's true.
That's deep.
So, you know, I will feel emotions in my body and in my heart that were familiar because I lived in that hell when I was a kid. So even though they were not healthy, they were comfortable. And, you know, almost like I will be addicted to suffering until very recently, Mike. After all the work I've done, and I think people can identify with this. Sometimes when things are going well in your life, you will find ways to suffer. You will be addicted to the suffering or the problems. You will look for problems. And I know maybe some people look for them to grow, but a lot of times you're just looking for them so your nervous system can feel as it did when you were a kid and
secure,
you were, and you were distressed. So I end up flying to Costa Rica and drinking a psychedelic medicine, a plant medicine called ayahuasca. And it was really life transformative. It first destroyed my life in an instant. All aspects of me, my identity disappeared. And it's been the most horrible instant of my life. But then, thankfully, because I accepted that destruction, I was able to start building a new foundation that was lasting. And it's not a magic pill. None of these treatments or psychedelics.
It's not like you just went back home and then everything was fine.
No. It's not a magic pill.
It's an exercise. Like you got to work a muscle.
Yeah, like if I compare it to any pill, I talk in my book, it will be to the red pill Neo takes in the Matrix, which opens up his knowledge of what's really going on in the Matrix and the world, and then he has to face the monsters and he almost dies. So it's like that with any personal development path, whether it's with psychedelics or what meditation or whatever you're using, whatever tools work for you, it's about the path, and it's never a straight line, you know. So Costa Rica was a pivotal time in my life, and it was less than 3 years ago.
Oh, that recent?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I want to talk about your mission now and what you want to do for people and how you want to impact this world by being that one. And if you don't mind sharing, like, what's your mission now and what do you really like see going forward? What's the vision and especially the impact? Because I think it's important, like we do work, whatever we choose to do, whether it's our hobbies and our communities, what have you, but it's really the impact that we leave behind, right?
So many times in our lives, we face difficulties and we get over them. And that's it. We got over them. And when we're on this other side, we have this calling to say, hey, I need to help many more people get over to this side. So for me, the transformation of my life has been so incredible. Not easy, but so incredible from who I used to be when I didn't remember what happened to me to who I am today. Now I remember what happened to me, and I've been able to process it and get the emotions out of my body. The transformation was so big, and I realized that it is so common, Mike, for the brain to hide trauma and for traumatic episodes to happen behind closed doors of happy homes, that I decided I wanted to transmute what happened to me into something valuable for people. First, starting with a book that is pretty much, I opened the windows to my soul, and I said to the people, look inside to the most difficult times, and just hopefully get something out of it by comparing it to your life, by, seeing how you can also grow. So it's the book, which is a beautiful book. It's in Audible and it's on Amazon. And then I love talking about mental health, trauma healing. And also a big part is to help remove some stigma from psychedelic use for therapeutic purposes. I'm not pushing psychedelics on people. I'm simply giving knowledge. So I'm a firm believer that people have the right to choose the healthcare that works for them. And right now, the way that the world is set up, people are only having one choice, and that's what's the insurance covering. And it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. So removing stigma from psychedelics, mental health, trauma healing, how the brain hides traumatic episodes, by speaking about it and by putting my book out there.